of the principles of economics says that market is usually a good way to organize economic activities, and that's simply because market is regulated by a visible hand. That was popularized by Adam Smith, which says that the forces of demand and supply are going to interact to promote efficiency. And why is this so? This is so simply because price is going to be the medium by which resources are being allocated, and the invisible hand makes sure that, or let me say, it's the same thing. Price through the invisible hand makes sure that consumers who value a product the most are the ones who get the product. It's as simple as that. So if equilibrium price, if demand and supply for, let's say, a product like maybe semolina, semovita, whatever, if the demand and supply interact in such a way that the equilibrium price becomes, let's say, 1,000 naira per kilogram, so that simply means people that have up to 1,000 naira are the ones that will be able to get. People that have people that are willing to pay at least 1,000 naira for the product are the ones that are going to get a product. So that's about that. But the thing is that there are cases where the forces of demand and supply is not enough to guarantee efficiency in the market, and in such cases, such things used to occur when you have things like when there is a supplier in the market that has market power, when we have tax imposition, although most taxes, because there's a kind of tax that promotes efficiency, when there is government legislation, and this could come in terms of, let's say, output restriction, this could come in terms of, let's say, minimum price, maximum price control, and all of that. All of those things, they throw the market out of equilibrium. And then externalities. Okay, so the subject of our discussion today is actually externalities. So we are going into externalities. Okay, all right. That said, my name is Odwale Godwin, and welcome to MOJ Economics. So what are externalities, or what is an externality? So externality is a way by which someone's activity affects another person. Someone's activity affects another person that was not considered when the activity was impacted upon. And this might be too long. Externality is just talking about how the activities of an individual affect another individual that wasn't considered when the activity was being carried out. Okay, so oftentimes when we want to feel ourselves, sometimes we say that we don't really give a damn what other people say about us. We don't really give a damn. Like we kind of try to act independently. The thing is that in reality, the activities of some people, what they do actually affect us either positively or negatively. Like we have influence on other people, and other people have influence on us. So externality is just talking about the positive, the benefit or the cost that a bystander bears when a market activity is going on. That is, when a market transaction is going on and there is a bystander that wasn't a part of that market transaction, either suffering from the market transaction that is happening or benefiting from the market transaction that is happening. So that is kind of a technical term for externality. I think do I have a different example? Do I have a different okay, I think I have a simpler definition here. So externality is the positive or negative effect of a market activity on a bystander. So we just take that one. Externality is the positive or the negative effect of a market activity on a bystander, which is what I've been talking about already. Now the thing is that there are times when the market activities actually influence us positively or negatively. Now externality could look like a very big or technical word, so let me start to give you examples for you to know what we are really talking about. Let's say you are trying to let's say someone is playing loud music beside you have a neighbor who loves loud music. We are still coming back to that kind of example later on. Or let's say Hawa and Adedayo are two students that are preparing really hard for the examinations, and then they have a neighbor, Faustina, who just loves loud hip hop music. So the more this Hawa and Adedayo, they want to study. They are trying to study for the examination. They have a serious examination coming on, and then the time they want to study, let's say 11 p.m. from 11 to 1 is when their neighbor, which is Faustina, is playing. When she is just the time that she plays loud music. So that thing is, it's kind of affecting Hawa and Adedayo negatively because they won't be able to study. In fact, if they even try, to sleep, they may not even be able to sleep as well. So in that case, we have the activity of Faustina having a negative impact on, Hawa and Adedayo. So that's the kind of thing that we are talking about when we are talking about externality, because this is when, let's say, Faustina is someone that has a sound system. So in the market where she purchased the sound system, she and the seller didn't obviously consider the fact that, or they most likely didn't consider the fact that, okay, this sound system could be a source of trouble, a source of inconvenience to other people. So what Faustina basically looks at is, okay, what is the marginal benefits I'm going to get from buying this sound system? And what the manufacturer of the product is looking at is, okay, so what is my marginal cost of producing this thing? And that's now going to reflect what the price is going to be. So in this case, you have Faustina looking at a marginal benefit, and then you have the supplier looking at the marginal cost. So of course, the both of them are talking about marginal cost and marginal benefit. Marginal cost is going to be the price that Faustina is paying. It's going to reflect in the price that she's paying to get the product, after considering her marginal benefit as well. And then for the manufacturer of the product, the marginal cost is also going to reflect in the price that he or she is willing to sell the product. All right. So all of these things, they have a way of interacting to get something like this. So we have this already, and we have here is when the market is efficient. The PMB is called the private marginal benefit, okay, which is is the same thing as the demand curve, because in trying to demand for a product, I'm just trying to look at your marginal cost, the marginal benefits that you are going to derive from that, and then the supply curve happens to be the private marginal cost of the product. So marginal benefits is a reflection of your demand curve is a reflection of your marginal benefit. So you can just simply say PMB is similar as the demand curve, and then the supply curve as well is a reflection of the private marginal cost. So PMC is private marginal cost, PMB is private marginal benefit. Now the thing here is that this is not for an individual. All right, this is what is happening in the market basically, right? And you have something like this. When you have something like this, there is no inefficiency in this market, simply because the private marginal cost and the private marginal benefits are interacting in such a way that you have this equilibrium price and then you have this equilibrium quantity. So here there's something we call the social marginal cost. That is, what you are doing does not lead to an increase in the cost of, does not how do I put it now, does not inconvenience people around you in such a way that they tend to bear some cost from what you are trying to do. And in this place as well, the private marginal benefit is just the marginal benefit to the individual. So that means it's not the whatever product this is not benefiting any other person in one way or the other. So when you have something like this, the market is efficient. But when we start to talk about externality, okay, so this is not okay. It then depends on the kind of externality we are talking about. So we have positive externality and negative externality. Okay, they are just big terms. So positive externality is just talking about the benefits that a bystander derives from a market transaction that he or she wasn't a part of, basically. And then we now talk about negative externality as the cost that a bystander incurs, okay, from a market transaction that he or she wasn't part of. So that is what we are talking about. Now, in the case of Faustina, Hawa and Adedayo are experiencing, let's say the two of them are like representing the rest of the society. So they are experiencing a higher cost than the cost that the product was purchased, that the sound system was purchased. Okay. Now, in this case, the thing is that Faustina has underrepresented her cost, because the true cost of the sound system is the price that she paid for that sound system and the value of the discomfort that is causing to Hawa and Adedayo. Now the thing is that it is Hawa and Adedayo that Faustina was meant to have added that external cost. We call it an external cost or a negative external. She was meant to have added that when she was trying to purchase a commodity, and in fact the supplier could have also looked at that when he or she was supplying the commodity, but they don't look at that. And so the thing is, at the end of the day, Faustina ends up buying more sound systems than she's supposed to buy. Now let's just take this to the entire society. So in this case, we are talking about the buyers of sound systems. Okay, buying too much of sound system, simply because if what Faustina is doing is causing discomfort to Hawa and Aditayo, there are several hundreds of people with sound system as well that are, affecting other people around them as well. You understand? So because I think I mentioned earlier that we're talking about market demand, market supply. Okay, so not really individual demand, individual supply. So at the end of the day, the society would want less noise. All right, and when they want less noise, what we are trying to say is that the society wants less of sound systems. In Nigeria of today, there is this product that a lot of people use these days. What do you call it? It's a mini speaker. It's portable, so you could, as I'm talking, it could just be, I think, something as small as, and when I bring these two markers together like this, the size of it, something as small as that. And then you see everyone, I think it's kind of cheap. I don't have one. So you see everyone taking this thing, and playing loud music with it on the road and, everything like that, because it is cheap and it is portable. So you just have everybody just being something like a mobile speaker. Okay, you see everybody, every youth there, every adult, they're just kind of listening about. Now, all of these things are causing problems for other people that are not, that were not considered when these products are being purchased. Now, imagine you're trying to manage a neighbor. Let's say I want to die trying to manage Faustina with our own sound system, and then you have a new neighbor purchasing another one, and then playing loud music as well. So you're like, oh my god, this is too much, this is getting too much. So that is just telling us that the society would want less of a product that is less of a product that has a negative externality. The society is going to want less of a product that has negative externality. So in trying to depict that, what is going to happen in the market of sound system is, we started from this. I said this represents an efficient market where PMC is also equal to PNB, and that's about that. But when you're talking about negative externalities now occurring in a particular market, so the thing is that this price is not the true price of sound system. Now this is the true price. The true price is going to be, let's if you can value the external cost, that is the cost of noise, or the cost of discomfort that the sound systems are generating over the country now. For example, let's say we value them at, let's say, 1,000 naira per unit. So we value them at 1,000 naira per unit. What that means is that, this private MC is going to increase by 1,000. So it increases by 1,000, and then the new curve that we'll be having, okay, this is going to be the new curve. This then represents the social marginal cost. So this is social marginal cost, where what you have here, what you have here is kind of the external costs. The external costs. Alright, so the thing is, here this is now, because this has increased by PMC, it has increased by PMC. So where is it intersecting the old demand curve? So we have this new curve intersecting this curve here. Now the first thing is that we have this, this is this. Okay, so on this axis we'll be having P plus 1,000. Okay, so P plus 1,000 per unit of the output produced. Right, so this is actually the true cost of sound system in this market that is causing a negative externality to people that want to study and to various other people out there. Right, and the thing is, so the new equilibrium is occurring here. This is the new equilibrium where the SMC is intersecting the where it's intersecting the PMB. Alright, so we have here, so we'll be having a lower, let me call this private equilibrium quantity, say a lower equilibrium quantity for the society. So this is what the society wants. And now let's call this point here. Okay, for us to understand what we are doing, let's call this point B, and let's call this point C. Now there is also a price here. So this is going to be the let me call this P. Okay, let me call this PP. Okay, and let me call it like this. Okay, now the thing is, QP reduces to QS. This is what the society wants less. The society wants less of sound system, less number of sound system in the society. All right. So here, moving from this point, if you look at here, for example, as we keep moving up to all of these points, we would realize that okay, SMC, the social marginal cost, is greater than the private marginal cost here, and it continues to be so. It continues to be so until we get to this point where the social marginal cost is then equal to the what's am I in? Okay, no, sorry, the social marginal cost is greater than the it's greater than the private. I'm supposed to like compare with this. It's greater than the private marginal benefits. Okay, then you continue, it's still greater than private marginal benefits, so you continue until it gets to this point where the social marginal cost then is equal to the private marginal benefit. So from here, all of this triangle, the area of this triangle is then, this is the deadweight loss. All right, this is the deadweight loss. This is the deadweight loss from this externality. All right, from negative externality. So this represents the deadweight loss. So we are moving from this point, all right, up to this point. So what you are comparing is this is the true cost is the social marginal cost. So you are like considering the true cost and the true marginal benefit, the true marginal cost and the true marginal benefit. Okay, so the true marginal cost here is greater than the true marginal benefit up to this point where they now become equal. So what is happening here is that this is what the society wants, and for the negative externality, this is the problem. Okay, this is the deadweight loss that results from this negative externality. So this is how to represent negative externalities when you have a curve and something like that. Now I was trying to like solve the internet, and I got to realize that this is actually a very simplified graph. Okay, because if you just try to just punch in one or two things into the internet right now, we are going to start seeing different kind of curves, like curves that are not kind of something like this. So we are starting from a very simplified form of what we are supposed to do, and on and on. Now, how can we correct a negative externality? There are various ways. We have, how can externalities be corrected basically? So there are various solutions. There are private solutions. There are command solutions like the government. When I'm talking about private solutions now, I'm talking about negotiation. Okay, which was something that was developed by which falls under Coase theorem. Okay, and the guy that developed that was just saying that individuals can, when a market is inefficient, provided that there is no transaction cost, so individuals in that market can negotiate and ensure that the market becomes efficient. So what that is saying that, okay, how an Adedayo, if there is no transaction cost is the cost of correcting an externality. So if there is no transaction cost, so they could just say, okay, what is going to be the value of this noise? Okay, so what is the value of our own piece? All right, when Faustina is playing loud, in fact she may be playing gospel music and she's thinking everybody's enjoying it. Okay, so what can they pay Faustina to stop her from playing the music? Now if Faustina thinks that, okay, the value of the music, if she can put it in monetary terms, is, let's say, 20,000 naira. Okay, and then the costs of that to Adedayo and Hawa is like, let's say, 30,000 naira. So they will be able to negotiate, like Hawa and Adedayo will just come and say, okay, why don't we pay you 25,000 naira? Now 25,000 naira is lower than the cost that they are incurring, okay, which makes the trade sensible on their own part. And then 25,000 naira is greater than the benefit that Faustina is deriving from playing loud music. So in that case, we just say that a trade can occur. All right, a trade can occur because it's kind of a sensible trade. The surplus to Hawa and Adedayo will be 5,000 naira, I think, 25, right? And then the surplus to Faustina as well will be 5,000 because she values the music at 20,000 naira, and then she's been offered 25,000 naira to stop playing the music so that she doesn't disturb other people. So in that kind of a thing, that's Coase theorem coming into play. When transaction cost is zero, all right, so individuals will come in a market that is inefficient, because it's like a market that is inefficient. They could just come and talk things out, just negotiate and get to a better point, just stop her from playing the music. So in that case, the amount of music, what do I call it? Okay, let me just leave it that way. So, and another way that there are times when negotiations would work. So what if Faustina then says that, okay, she wants 31,000 naira, she wants to be paid 31,000 or 35,000, and these people can only offer 30,000. So no trade is going to occur. She will keep playing the loud music, and then the society continues to suffer, and other people as well, keep playing the loud music, of course, and society continues to suffer. So there are times when these things are difficult to implement. So another solution is what do you call it now? Okay, so the government could impose quota. It could be quota restriction on supply. This is the amount that we want you to sell. All right, so the government could do that. It's a way of solving the problem. And then let's talk about taxes. Okay, so the government could also impose a tax. Now the thing is that the external cost here is 1,000 naira per output. So government could impose a 1,000 naira per output tax on sound systems, okay, in this market, okay, that everybody is using to cause noise everywhere, and then everybody is using to cause everywhere. So when they do that, all right, so the thing is, what is going to happen is that when you are making this market, you are making the supplier to take cognizance of an external cost that their product is causing out there. So what is going to happen is so 1,000 naira per when 1,000 naira tax per quantity is imposed, okay, all of this is going to disappear, because it's going to it's like the government taxing you, and immediately the government taxes, it's like a tax is like it's synonymous to an increase in the cost of production. So that will force suppliers of this particular product to start producing at this point instead of this point, and the problem is resolved. Now you see, moving from here to here, this is an inefficient point as far as this market is concerned, and this is an efficient point. So moving from here to here, all right, it's kind of is beneficial to the society. And what if I tell you that moving from here to here actually represents an increase in the total surplus? Okay, because it's an increase in the society's economic surplus, because what you have here, a negative externality is a negative value. It's like saying that the total surplus, for example, were 13 plus a minus 2, where a minus 2 is representing a negative externality. So if you are removing this, so it's like you have a 13 minus 2, and this is going to be 15 in this particular case. So that is what is happening when this negative externality is removed. All right, the total economic surplus, the society's economic surplus increases. All right, so I think this video might be getting too long already. Now there are other taxes that other taxes make markets inefficient, but you have a tax that is correcting an inefficiency in a market. So that tax is called a Pygovian tax. Okay, P-I-G-O-U-V-I-A-N, Pygovian tax. All right, or a corrective tax. All right, so when a question comes and says that all taxes make markets inefficient, just remember that you learned in a video that not all taxes make markets inefficient. Okay, there is a kind of tax, I don't know, this is one that I've come across. There might be other taxes that make the market efficient. There are not many, basically. Okay, so you have Pygovian tax, and it could be called a corrective tax. A corrective tax. So what it does is it makes the suppliers of this product internalize the externality that their product is causing, or that the activity that the production activity, or it makes them internalize the externality that their production activity is causing in this particular market. Okay, so the thing is, I'll have to talk about positive externality in another video, because I think this is already getting so long. If you enjoyed this video, if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comment section. If you really want more of our videos, please click on the like button. Just like, if you like this video, click on that like button. If you don't like it, click on the dislike button, the button that's like this. So it sends a message to us that we are not doing good enough. Alright, and subscribe to this channel, tell your friends about it, and wait for our videos, our next videos. See you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.